Hi, everyone. Welcome to Meaningful Monday. And today we have a special guest who's going to talk about her journey of losing 85 pounds. And it's a pretty compelling story. And her name is Marilyn Moon. Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to to all our viewers watching. Marilyn, what I know about Marilyn personally is that I've had the opportunity to do a couple events with her. And Marilyn, when she walks in the room, you see her spirit. And it's one of the things that really draws me to her. And I'm so excited to spend time with her this morning. So I'm going to give a little bio on her. Marilyn Moon is a transformational health and wellness coach. Marilyn helps people who are struggling to gain their health back and or the desire to get back to their ideal weight. She says by making changes to your lifestyle, dieting is thrown out the window. We all need that because dieting without changing the habits just doesn't work. Marilyn makes use of simple science-based program that will help you gain back your health. She knows this because of her compelling story of losing 85 pounds 7 years ago and has vowed to never find that weight again. And so with that being said, yes, yay, welcome here. And man, that is just saying that out loud, because I probably could use about, I don't know, 30, it's now that I'm older and past menopause and in those stages in my life, I could probably use to lose about 30 pounds. So to think about losing 85 pounds, and I know that me and you have talked, you have done that. You did that in really under a year, you lost 85 pounds, which is absolutely amazing. And you did it healthily. You didn't, starve yourself. And I'll let you talk more about, how you did that. But can you share with us kind of just like a pre weight loss for you? What did your life look like? What was your weight? What was your challenges? The yo-yo dieting, what did all that stuff look like for you?
Michelle, it was quite a journey. It actually starts in childhood. I think it starts in childhood for a lot of us where we don't really have control over our dinner plate or our environment around the table with your family. And I know for me personally, my dinner plate was 11-inch plate, which is a regular dinner size plate, was filled to the brim. There was I didn't have a clue about any of the nutritional value of a lot of food. And when I was growing up, we didn't eat a lot of fresh vegetables, so everything came out of a can. So it would not have been unusual for me to have an entire 11-inch plate full of spaghetti and meat sauce. And of course, you always feel, or I always felt, and everybody's situation is so different, but I always felt that if I didn't eat it all, that somebody else would get it, So it kind of sets up your mindset and your habits from a very young age. Plus the other thing that I've experienced a lot of, and I absolutely know a lot of us or most of us have the same experience with emotional eating. We eat to celebrate, we eat to soothe our stress, we eat when we're happy, we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're depressed, and we attach so much to food. So personally, when I got to be a middle schooler, I was pretty chubby already. And then of course, that's when you start being so concerned about, how you look and what your body is, your body image starts getting formed. And so, of course, I felt really fat. Now looking at my pictures from middle school, I wasn't very fat, but I thought I was. So that's when, I started dieting, and that was a long time ago. So yeah, yo-yo dieting. Oh my goodness, I'm a queen. I've yo-yo diets, in and out, in and out. And the silly thing about yo-yo dieting is you lose your weight, you feel really good, you start slipping. All of a sudden you're where you were and 15 pounds over that. So when you do it all the time, your metabolism gets really confused. And a lot of times when you get into that and start your diet again, your body wants to hold on to all of those calories, all of that fat, because it thinks from the prehistoric ages that if you don't have that food coming in, you need it stored. So that's, I definitely got that. And by the time I was in my 40s, I weighed 192 pounds, and I'm 5'1". That was not a happy period in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of that's where we're at right now. So you're weighing 192 pounds. What happened that you were like, okay, I really need something that's going to work in my life. And I know that you also incorporated some health challenges along that journey for you. And so what happened that you were like, that's it, I'm going to do something different?
This is a really interesting part of my story. In my 40s, I got very, very depressed. And I got really depressed. With the weight gain comes inflammation in your body, which affects so much. It not only affects how you think about things in your head, but it also starts causing disease in your body. And so a lot of my metabolic issues were exacerbated. And we had diabetes that ran in our family. Up to that point, I hadn't had a problem with it, but with weighing so much and exercising so little, my diabetes got way out of control. And then to make matters worse, I got that H1N1 flu, put me in the hospital for a week, and the virus attacked my pancreas, which that totally inhibited my sugars from being able to, the pancreas just got really damaged. So then I'm on insulin. And I was on insulin for 10 years. The really cool thing is that my life kind of took a turnaround. And so I need to just put in here, this is not even about weight loss. But for those of you that are having issues with depression, and at the time it feels so dire, and that there's hope. There's hope for all of us to be able to transcend that depression or a lot of the issues that go on in our brain. That's another interview, but I'm so passionate about that. So, but my life definitely took a change. I don't know what it was, but there was a switch that went off. I saw that there were changes that needed to be made. I knew that the story that I had been telling myself since I was a child just needed to change. So I was able to see that, which was pretty amazing, I thought, and to change it. And so what you see now is kind of a really different person than who I was back then. We moved. We moved from a little mountain town in California to in Truckee, California, which we loved, to Reno, Nevada, which we also loved. And when I got to Reno, I realized that, I no longer had any friends that were really close, and I I had the desire. So I joined this club where there were a lot of women who were about my age. And I was noticing as I was going to these meetings that they were shrinking. And they are happy and they have a lot of energy. And so I was thinking, okay, there's something going on here. I need to find out what it is. So I went up to them and talked to them, and evidently they were working with a coach. So I said, I need to meet this coach. And I did. And she told me all about this amazing program that helped me get healthy and lose the extra weight. So that's how it started. It was amazing, and I feel so great now.
So on average, once you started the program, what do you think was your biggest challenge going into it?
Oh, yes. It's mindset. Mindset is a big challenge because until you decide that you love yourself enough to make a big change, that it's almost, it has to come from inside. No exterior person or event or anything's going to happen from the outside. It comes from inside of you. And as soon as you decide and you have a good reason, my reasons were I wanted to be healthy when my husband retired in a couple of years. I didn't want to be spending as much money on medication as I was, and I was taking a lot of medication. And I wanted to feel better. I wanted to look better. But my first motivation was to get healthy.
Nice. Very nice. So was there one particular person that stands out for you that was the most instrumental in your journey?
You know, one thing about the program is it's a collaborative. So we have this huge community of people who have from all walks of life, from all over the country, and we're in touch with each other and we give each other support, and we hear each other's challenges and we encourage each other, and so there's not one person that jumps out, but there's the person who has health problems that I know and I love. And then there's another woman who, she's a RN and she weighed almost 500 pounds. Now she weighs less than half of that in 2 years. And she's so happy and she's so much healthier. And her family's been impacted because now they have a mother that can actually do things with them. And she was worried that, you know, she wouldn't even get to see her grandchildren. And now she's got 4. It's so heartwarming to be able to see that. And her family too. One of her sons was overweight, and he's got, you know, now he's nice and trim and healthy, and he got married. You know, so those are the kind of stories that I hear all the time, and it just warms my heart. Gives me that's the most important thing I think that drew me into coaching, was to understand that there's a better life out there, and there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of the same health issues or weight issues as I was.
Nice. So so fast forward, we're in a pandemic. And we have a lot of things being thrown at us in 2020. And some of us are barely hanging on to some sense of positivity in our lives. You know, there's a lot of challenges between leadership, finances, just the stress of COVID, things like that, and being isolated from, you know, being able to hold and hug and be in more social gathering settings, like what you're saying, like a community, right? And even though, thank God, we have technology so that we can still reach out, see people's faces, you know, but human touch, things like that, which just adds compounds on what you're saying when we're already stress eating or emotionally eating, or you know, eating when we're happy, sad, lonely, mad. It's, you know, so you had so far in 2020 you have not gained a pound, which is amazing. And the reason that I say that is because I had COVID, and I had a moderate to, you know, moderate to severe case of it. I didn't go to the hospital, but I did have a pretty big hit with it. And in that, I lost 12 pounds. Now that I've been back on the health, you know, eating more healthy and getting, you know, I couldn't eat when I had COVID. And so I've gained probably half of that back. But I really believe that a lot of that weight that I lost was just water weight. But, you know, in thinking of going through this whole thing and not gaining a pound, I mean, that's the only reason I lost weight is because I got sick. So it would have just, you know, probably, I maintain in between, and I think a lot of people do too. I maintain in between 5 and 10 pounds. That's always my range. But as I get older, that 5 and 10 pounds does get a little bit, and the yo-yo dieting, all that stuff that you've already kind of touched on, you know, goes up a few pounds a year. And then pretty soon you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? But you've lost the weight, kept the weight off, and then even in these stressful times have continued to keep the weight off. So, you know, how have you done that? Like, what are the things that you've done during this pandemic that's been different than maybe what other people have done?
First of all, I do have to say that I am so happy with the end result of you having COVID. I was very worried, and you look great. So thank goodness. As far as COVID, oh my, yes, very stressful times. What now that I eat healthy and I exercise regularly, one of my gifts was that I am not on any medication from my diabetes. However, once you have diabetes, there's no cure. So if I start eating not healthy, or if I stop exercising, my diabetes could come back. As far as it, like I said, it doesn't go away, but it's just under control. So stress also has a lot to do with your diabetes getting out of control. Since I have an underlying condition, as well as my husband has an underlying condition, we're still secluded. We don't feel like joining in with a lot of the people that are gathering right now. So I get there's a lot of stress, and you're right. It doesn't only come from this pandemic. There's a lot of diverse feelings. There's emotions are high everywhere. It's so difficult right now. But there's also so many gifts. There's so many gifts that are happening right now. I'm learning so much more. I'm meeting people from all over the world because this gift of technology. I'm getting closer to the people I already know. So many gifts, and that's gratitude is so important. As far as tips go for how you do not have to gain weight during this time, first of all, understand that you are a beautiful vessel. And if you can tap into that and understand that by loving yourself as you are right now, they'll give you the opportunity to take yourself where you want to go, whether that is to a smaller size, whether that's feeling better when you go to your sister's wedding, or if you want to have something, like you have a big goal in mind, then yes, take yourself there. But it comes from inside again. It takes from loving yourself no matter what you're doing right now. And that'll give you the motivation to say, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. The second thing is what I was alluding to before, as far as taking yourself somewhere that you've been wanting to go. Make a decision to get to where you want to go. Make it something that's more important than food. If going to the wedding and wearing a small size is really important to you, more important than food, you'll do it. If you have a health issue, or you need to go, let's say you're going to go in for an operation and your doctor says, well, I can't do this till you lose 50 pounds. Well, if you want that operation or need that operation, that's more important than the food. As long as you have something that is more important than the food, your goal is going to be a lot easier to reach. And then the last thing that I'd like to talk to you about is baby steps. We don't need to be from here to there all in once. It takes these baby steps to get there. So let's say you have a goal that's out there. If you're looking at that goal that's out there and you're over here, seems overwhelming, right? But if you have a goal that's out here and you decide to get to there, that's not quite as overwhelming. So then you get to here, you adjust your goal, here, adjust your goal, and all of a sudden, you've gotten to here. What the biggest tip that I want to give you, and this is what helps me, in fact, I have a sign on my refrigerator to help me with this all the time, because it's not something that comes naturally. What I want to let you know about is called Stop, Challenge, and Choose. And this is actually something that's given to us in our program by the co-founder of it. His name is Dr. Wayne Anderson. And so he came up with Stop, Challenge, Choose. And the way it works is this. You get to your refrigerator and you're just saying, oh God, what am I going to have? What am I going to have? What's in there? And you stop yourself. You take a pause and you say, why am I at the refrigerator? Is it because I'm happy, sad, mad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Or am I hungry? Well, if it's on any of those other emotional reasons, you might want to have already a little list of alternative things you can do that you enjoy doing. I enjoy reading. I enjoy going for walks. I enjoy having coffee with a friend. And so those are the things I will turn to if I get there and I'm not really hungry. I'll look at my list and say, okay, what can I do instead that would be satisfying? If I feel in my tummy that I'm growling or hungry, then I'll open that darn refrigerator door and I'll look in there. And for me, since it's a big habit, I'll look for the healthiest thing I can find. And actually, most everything in my refrigerator is healthy because I've already purged all the stuff that's not. So that's, I've already stopped. I've already challenged myself by saying, okay, am I hungry or not? And now I'm going to choose. And as I said, I'm going to choose something that's healthier because that's my goal. And so that's the way it works. Stop, challenge, choose. And like I said, I have it on my refrigerator door. I look at it every single day. And I know that the most important thing for me is to stay healthy, stay happy, and to not ever find the weight that I lost again.
Nice. Nice. I love how you talked about, basically our life goals. Are they more, do we love ourselves enough to, more than food? And that's whatever goal, whatever situation we got going on in our lives, whatever our motivation is that it really has to start with self-love. And yeah, met with a Tibetan monk and was talking to him, and he said, food is medicine. And so every time when we get a plate of food, to take the food and to blow a prayer into the food and to make food sacred in that way, instead of, just trying to fill a hole, or just, all those just going to quick, not being, and not being mindful about what we're putting in our bodies and making food really sacred, which is really making a conscious choice about my plate, how much food is on my plate, being very mindful about what it is that, I'm eating. Is this healthy medicine for me, or is this junk, that just gonna, it's not even worth it. And it's so funny because sometimes, and I got this from my friend, Parker. So sometimes when I eat, it's like, oh, is this nutritionist? And it's like, nope, but it'll make a turd, which sounds awful, but it's the truth, right? And sometimes that's, and again, not going into that self-battering thing, but there are times that I have a beautiful plate and it's medicine, and I get to blow the prayers in it and make it really sacred for me. And then there's times that it's not, but I love myself enough to not beat myself up during that process. But I love your 3 tips. So, so just a replay on them. So it's, what are they again? The 3.
So the 3 tips are that you want to decide on something that's so important that the food is second and your goal is first. Make them baby steps, because if they're too big of a goal, if you want to lose 85 pounds, you're 192 and you want to get down to 115, you are going to, if you go, oh my God, how am I going to lose all this weight? And it seems so overwhelming. There's no way you can see it. And you say, oh my God, forget it. I can't do this. But if you say, okay, I weigh 195 pounds now, or 92, and I'm going to get to 182, or even only 5 pounds, which is usually water weight, by the way, my dear, then that's a lot more doable. And if you keep doing that, then all of a sudden you're going to have 85 pounds gone, a third of a person, right? And and then and you'll get your goal. And then with the habits that you develop on the way, then that's the way that you're going to keep the weight off. You said something really important. I think that it was, well, first of all, really, truly, the 12 pounds you've lost, 6, that was water. And we do vary a lot from day to day. And some people get really obsessive about, oh my God, I gained, 0.6 pounds or something, but it's really important not to do that. And that's the thing I wanted to bring up when you said food is medicine. So when I first started the program, I decided what was important for me to think about food was food is fuel. Okay. So through these years, it's really taken me far to understand food is what we use. It's our fuel for our engine. And when I think about it that way, then I'm not putting all of my emotional stuff and baggage into it. Now, what I've come to terms with is, yes, food is fuel, and it's wonderful to eat the food that tastes good. So, but the food that tastes good, yum, yum, you want to enjoy that, really enjoy it. But understanding that the taste is a benefit to the energy that you are accumulating and using.
Nice.
The
So,
last thing, one second, the last thing I wanted to say about that, because you brought that up too, was it's really important not to beat yourself up. So if you went into the refrigerator after you did your challenge and if you chose a bowl of ice cream and you chose to eat that ice cream, afterwards, I would love to hear you say, I took a pause. I challenged myself to see if I was hungry. I opened that refrigerator door, or the freezer door in that case, right? And I chose to eat a cup of ice cream. Thank you very much. It tasted really good. It was my choice. And on to the next day. Tomorrow's another day to make another choice if you choose to.
very nice. Yes. So stop,
Challenge.
challenge, and choose. Stop,
Right.
challenge, and choose. Yes. So on our last question for today, what is your favorite quote and why?
Oh, this is such a touching subject for me because I have a really personal one. You are never too old, and it is never too late. I was 50 years old by the time I decided to change my health. My mother changed her life at 60. And I saw my mother go from the traditional housewife where she was pretty complacent and submissive to becoming a tiger in her 60s. And she was such a role model for me starting then. And so when I became 50 and saw the possibilities of becoming healthy, getting, working on how I could serve people from my experiences that I've gone through the years, and how to relate to people in a really different way. So we're never too old and it's never too late. And the thing too is I hear so many people who are younger than me when they approach me about losing weight or whatever, they say, I'd like to lose weight, but I'm too old. Why should I, in reality, why should I do this? What am I going to do it for? And all I can do is just smile and say, you have a lot of years ahead of you. You are young at heart if you choose to look at yourself that way.
Nice. Thank you so much. So thank you for spending this time with me and the viewers. And I will make sure to add your email so that if people are interested in learning more about you, learning more about your coaching, then they can reach out to you for that. And thank you so much, Marilyn, for taking time with me this morning. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed being with you and your viewers.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Mm.